The Central Bank of Nigeria says it plans to increase open market operations frequency and volumes to mop up liquidity and provide investment opportunities for FPIs, where traders at UBA say market sentiments remain bearish following today's OMO bill auction. Kenneth Onuoha, team member, Assets and Liabilities at UBA, joins me now for more market updates. Kenneth, thank you for joining us. Let's get right to it. Can market liquidity match an increase in volumes with open market operations? I remember about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the CBN offered 2.5 trillion now, but wasn't able to sell the entire amount. I think about 1.4 trillion or so, correct me if I'm wrong, was what the CBN was able to sell. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, like you rightly pointed out, yes. Good afternoon, Esther. You are very correct. The market liquidity has been pretty tight lately. It indeed has been showing signs of tightening. However, there was some form of respite in the course of the week as a result of the FAC inflow that came in on Tuesday. Opening position on Monday was a net debit of about 618 billion. However, that steadied, of course, with the FAC inflow that came into about 130 billion levels on Wednesday. But then with the NMPC moving funds to the CBN, we saw that the system liquidity then further depressed as at close of business yesterday, wherein system closed at about 239 billion. Clearly, this naturally translated into interbank rates, open OBB and overnight rates soaring to about 23% and, of course, 23.9% levels as at close of business yesterday.
So if the CBN does go ahead to increase the volumes or frequency of open market operations, how is that going to impact the markets and what kind of rates? I know that the CBN says it's investment opportunities for foreign portfolio investors, but we know that at the heart of it is to increase dollar inflows into the economy and boost FX reserves. But what kind of impact would you expect on the market?
Well, so yes, like you rightly did point out, the CBN did mention the fact that the frequency and volume of the open market operations would be increased going forward. The whole idea, of course, like you also stated, is to increase, give room for stability of the Naira and mop up liquidity from the system, as well as create investment outlets for FPIs. We are trying to attract investment from abroad at this point in time, foreign investors at this point in time. So very clearly, the thinking behind this is clear for all to see. Let's not forget the fact that CBN also mentioned the fact that we expect that the stop rates would be printing closer to the MPR. So that naturally would be enough reasons for FPIs to come into the system. This would in turn cause some form of stability in the system in terms of liquidity. And the CBN has also promised that at any point that there are any distortions in the market, it will be sure to come in as well.
Right. Speaking about the Naira, let's talk about trading so far this week. We've seen it hover at around 1,615, 1,500, just above that yesterday. How would you describe volumes this week? I know that the CBN governor is expecting or hoping that volumes will increase, even though it's still a willing buyer, willing seller situation. But what can you tell us in terms of how volumes have panned out this week?
Oh, yes, so in line with what the CBN governor did mention, the volumes have indeed increased. We have seen a steady rise. If we were to plot the graph, it would be a straight line graph showing a trajectory upwards. As at the beginning of the week, we saw volumes at about 154.16. The turnover at the NAFEM was about 154.16. That has constantly increased to about 217, which it closed as at yesterday. So in line with this, it is clear for all to see that, yes, this is in line with what the CBN expects. That side, we've also noticed that we have seen the Naira strengthen continuously during the course of this week alone in itself. Closing yesterday was about the value of Naira appreciated the dollar about by 89 bips to close at 1,595.11 to the dollar. This is in sharp contrast from the 1,600, 1,700 levels we were seeing at the start of this week and last week, of course, at close of last week. So yes, the signs are imminent that yes, the Naira is going to strengthen. The CBN also promised. You remember that in the speech that the CBN governor did give yesterday with his engagement with investors, with FPIs, he did mention the fact that the whole idea is for the Naira to strengthen. And this we would hope to achieve by seeing the recent action of the NMPC to move some of his accounts to the CBN, as well as the foreign inflows that have come in from the foreign inflows that have come in. Yet today, that stands about $2 billion compared to $3 billion that was what we received in the whole of 2023. So yes, the signs are there, and of course, we're positive.
Thank you so much, Kenneth, for talking to us, bringing us up to speed. We appreciate your time on the show today. Kenneth Onuoha, team member, assets and liabilities at UBA, bringing us up to speed on trading this week at the fixed income and FX market.